Okay, the original Kickstarter was for the basic box of Conan the board game. Sorry for a little bit of light bloom, but you're going to get the idea. This is a hefty box, as you can see, with plenty inside. Now, you can check the link below and it's going to have a detailed breakdown of what's inside from the first Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter was so successful that this also came with all the stretch goals, which is a box of the same size. Yeah, so you got 2 for 1, even more stuff. It was absolutely fantastic. We're going to give you a quick look through it all just to show you the quality level of it, and we'll see how that goes. But we'll also be cutting away to close-up cams to give you some detailed stuff. Now, in here we have the 2 rulebooks, the player's guide, and the sort of guy who's playing the bad guys, the Overlord's book. And everything has fantastic artwork included all the way through. It is absolutely stunning. Really easy to play system. Now the game comes with these character sheets to sort of play when you're the heroes. You might notice multiples of things in here. That's because everything comes in English and in French, because Monolith is a French company. So people like Conan, Shivata's the Thief, little reminder things for what all the rules, the sort of quick start stuff. That's the turn order sheet. More characters like Valeria, Hadrathus, Salata. There's different versions of Conan from different parts of his career. So there's Amra the Lion, which is a version of Conan. There's the Barbarian that you saw earlier. There's a version of Balit. There's more than one of that. There's soldiers for Balit, for our crew of Nubians. And each expansion comes with more of these for more different heroes. So what else is in the box? Well, that's some of the minis. We'll get to that later. In the main part of the box we have the game boards. Now these are full colour, fold out, big game tiles. They fold out in 4 sections. They are all double-sided, so that's like a temple kind of, sorry, a tavern. It's a bar, upstairs rooms and so on. On this side is a Pictish village, so they can be used for different scenarios and encounters. And the base game comes with multiple of these. Here's another one that's a castle on one side and something else on the other. These come with some scenery pieces like stake walls, wells and so on. Now this is not one of these resource control games that comes with a million pieces that are really complicated, but there are little cards of things like equipment, armour, weaponry, and all that kind of stuff that you can pick up through the game or equip beforehand, as well as some magic for your wizard heroes or your evil sorcerers. Each card has an individual spell on it and how it works. Really simple to work with. And then there's probably a lot more of these in here than the base game comes with, because we have the expansion, so we have all the ones from the expansion as well. These are character tiles. These will come in handy. These are kind of the villain's version of these cards for characters. They're just smaller versions with the same stats for each kind of creature on it. You've got ice giants, you've got various assassins, lots and lots and lots of these, including blank ones, because this game has great fan support and it gives you lots and lots of art assets online for free, so you can create your own scenarios and not just have the ones in the book, and also blank thin cards for creating your own weapons or spells or whatever. Here is our second game board, which has a castle on one side and 2 ships with a boarding action on the other side. Yes, fun naval stuff with rules for swimming and jumping from decks to decks, all that kind of thing. This game also features lots of little fun extra rules that you wouldn't normally have in a lot of tabletop games. Things like throwing weapons, not just throwing knives, but Conan being able to throw his whole sword at someone, like in Conan the Destroyer. Lots of fun there, and also pops up in the books. So let's get to what we all love, the miniatures. Now there's various sizes of creatures, and if you notice just from these basic ones, there are ones in light coloured plastic and ones in darker coloured plastic. This means that you don't even need to paint the miniatures to play the game, and yet easily the heroes and the enemy are very easily differentiated. This is a lion that Conan can take into battle with him and fight alongside him, like when he's Amra the Lion or when he's King Conan. And this is a giant snake, like the one summoned by Zogar Sag in the Pictish village. And this is a fantastic model of Thog, which some of you remember from the story we did as well. And this is the miniature box from the main game that fits in nicely here. Now, when we got these miniatures, they were all very good quality. They're all single piece miniatures, so there's no building involved, no gluing together or anything like that. There's very little in the way of errors or mold lines or anything like that, and the company that makes them is exceptionally good. We did get another game from them and one of the miniatures was missing. We just sent them an email and they replaced it right away. They're very good about their customer service. So as we see here, from the light coloured miniatures to the dark coloured miniatures, we have heroes and their associates and soldiers here and here, whereas the other darker miniatures are enemies. Just to give you an example, this is our classic Conan model that goes with this artwork here. And he would be going up against guardsmen as such, or mad hyena dogs and so on. This of course is just a top layer. You can remove that. Now who plays the villains of this gets this thing, which is nicely named the Scroll of Skillis. So you get turn counters here, energy counters here, and all your villainous monsters and stuff go across this way, and they slide forward, come up and slide them on again as the turn order goes round. They have their stats on them, and when they get wounded or killed, you flip them over and there's a nice bloody representation there. All nicely stylized, all very good. Even this is easily paintable. A lot of people have done online versions of them where they'll actually bulk this out in miniatures, but if you look, there's like lovely little stone cracks and stuff all along the raised edges of it, so you can paint that up as black rock or whatever you want to do. And here we have many more villains. We've got pirates, we've got picts, we've got skeletons, spearmen, bowmen, all of that for Conan and his buds to hack their way through to save the day. Game modes that are released with it, so you have the normal good versus evil play, and then that was expanded on to make it playable so that you could use evil models and fight against good soldiers. So the bad guy would effectively use soldiers of Basonia and stuff like that, and the good guys would be like evil heroes, wizards and all that kind of stuff, so you can flip the table on it and play the bad guys for a change, whoever wants to go whichever side. They have also brought out solo play versions, so you can sort of play against the game itself, and they've brought out cooperative play versions where everyone plays together against the game. So whether you're by yourself or with a group of friends, you can still always play. There can be usually 2 to 4 heroes in each game. There are scenarios for 2 to 4 heroes with an overlord bad guy. There's all the ones that come in the original base game, plus lots and lots of fan-made scenarios for free on the fan website to download in PDF. You don't even need to really print them off, because they use the game pieces that come with the original game. So to give you an example of a scenario, here's one here. Scenario in the clutches of the Picts. And here on this side it tells you how many players it can be up to, 4 to 5. And here with this little crow is a difficulty rating from 1 to 3. This is just a level 1, so it shouldn't be that difficult for the players to achieve. And what we've always found at these Conan games is it's not that difficult for Conan and his friends to hack through everybody on this board. But there are time limits in the game, so you have to be fast, and being fast is difficult because you only have a certain amount of energy to spend. You need to fight and rest because everyone can lose their breath. This tells you the villains that you can use and the cards you need to put on the scroll of Skelis, the special rules for the specific scenario, a lovely bit of background chat which is done in the style of the original stories. For example, this one is a Pictish village, the Zogar Sag, the giant snake, a bunch of Picts and mad hyena dogs. They've captured a princess who is hidden in one of these tents. The heroes have to come in, rescue the princess and leave within a certain amount of turns before the rest of the Picts from the rest of the valley descend on this place, and they'll be vastly outnumbered and killed. So all these little assets, these cards, these little circular things that denote all the soldiers you'll be using and models that you'll need, and the game board, all of this is available online and you can make your own missions with it. Now, it's not necessary, you can use phones or tablets or whatever, but to give an example, I've just printed some off. They're in black and white because I was only using a black and white printer, but as you can see, this is made by a fan, downloaded from the fan site, has exactly the same layouts as the book. All these assets are free and available. Some fans don't even need to use the assets. They'll just give you basic information like this, the miniatures you'll need, the rules that you'll follow, the objectives and so on, the time limits and everything like that. Yeah, as we said, that's our time tracker, so it'll tick down from up to 15 turns all the way down to 0 again, and that's nice and visible for everyone to see. Just like these really helpful, these are abilities that different characters have or different villains have, and this is just a quick reminder of what they all do. As we said, almost everything is printed in English and French, so one side will be English, the other side is just the same card but in French. Often it's largely unnecessary because, as you can see, Conan is spelled Conan in English and French. It doesn't really matter. And almost everything else is all visual design. Minimal amounts of writing on the character sheets. The abilities rated across here, which relate to all the ones on these cards, and their actions they can perform and how strong they are, how many dice they use to fight with and defend with. So this base game was what everyone was trying to fund at the start, but it was so spectacularly well funded that it came with all of these stretch goals, and both of these boxes are available as a bonus on the new pledge for the new expansion. New expansion being Red Nails. Previous expansion being places like Katai or the Frozen North, Frost Giant's Daughter and all that. So what do the stretch goals include? More scenarios, because we have more monsters, more heroes, more villains, and of course lots more minis, more maps, more game boards, and more big monsters like this thing, which is a huge sort of watcher in the water sea creature, along with tentacles that come out and have to be fought off and grabbed and rescue people from and all that kind of thing. As for the miniatures we got with these stretch goals, we got tentacles for sea creatures and various other things like that. We got more skeletons. We have Pictish archers, Picts with great weapons. We also get scenery, little skull piles, bookcases, chests, more monsters, more heroes, spiders, scorpions, all that kind of stuff. It's fantastic. Now, if you're not fond of these plastic layouts, some people online have actually made custom foam inserts. If you want to switch them out, you can easily get those. All big and fabulous. We've already backed the new Red Nails expansion. Not that we necessarily had to, or that you necessarily have to, because it got backed in less than a day, as the Conan stuff always does. And they made the original Conan King pledge with these two fantastic boxes available on the Kickstarter, because they're really difficult to get and they're very, very popular.